Beers and Birds.
Run.
Welcome to Beers and Birds, a bird session, and we talk about those Eagles. I'm joined by Brad Max Sucks Weaver.
I don't like the apple.
and Mike Trout First Wallace.
There you go. Carson's boy, number one.
Number one in his
Championship
draft.
coming.
Mike Wallace.
In the fantasy baseball league, that is.
So on this pod, we're going to take a look at the Eagles roster moves and all the craziness that Howie's been up to. Who we have, who we lost, who we gained, who got restructured. So, Brad, what are you thinking about all of Howie's shenanigans?
I think it kind of lines up with we're making a move to make at least one immediate move towards a championship, and he's trying to keep as many talented people as he can for one more year. And I think we're going to make a run, and we have most of our people back, and get a couple draft picks in there. Maybe one or two of them will contribute as well. And I think he's looking to go from the team that won one Super Bowl to be in the small category of 7 teams that have won back-to-back Super Bowls. So they're going for it. I mean, I'm not gonna predict anything right now, but I think
other than 3 Super Bowls,
we will be.
I'm thinking 3 in a row.
We will be.
They're going to be the first.
We'll be in the conversation. We'll be in the talks, and we can certainly hope that with the same talent around, plus hopefully Carson for the year, that we should be able to be up there with the Rodgers of the world and be competing for the NFC Championship. So.
All right. Well, here's the moves they made. I mean, we talked about Michael Bennett on the last podcast, and we'll get into his own personal shenanigans a bit later.
Let's do that.
So they traded for him, and they gave up Marcus Johnson. It's essentially 2 backups for him. So we talked a bit about him. We talked a bit about Darryl Worley. They re-signed Nigel Bradham.
Great move.
I knew you were all up on the Nigel Bradham train.
I like Hicks a lot, but he's injured too much. And
even back at Tennessee, he was injured like every year.
If Bradham leaves, and that leaves you with Hicks and Kendricks, and then it's a real steep drop off after there, that's dangerous to me. Like, because if
you're almost at street free agents,
if injuries were to happen, that could be the thing that causes you not to win the Super Bowl. So to get Bradham back, and they also got Nelson from
they
Broncos,
also signed linebacker Corey Nelson.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I don't know enough about him, but I would hope that he's better than our remaining players. Like he's kind of like in between that Kendricks to Najee Good drop off. He's somewhere in between there.
What did they got? They got him for,
I would hope so. Yeah.
And they got him cheap. He's about $1.6 million, so he's not costing them a whole lot of money.
He's like a Will that can probably cover running backs out of the backfield. Like he probably would match up well on Evan Ingram.
Yeah, and it's good to give him a chance and bring another person, a depth person, because now you have 4 linebackers. Hey. You feel a little bit better. Hicks is coming back. Mm-hmm. Kendricks, for now, is still on the team, and you have Nelson and Bradham.
Right.
So even if one gets injured or 2 gets injured, you only need 2, usually in the majority of formations in Schwartz's defense. You're primarily playing like a nickel with 2 linebackers.
Right.
A higher percentage of the time. So,
over 50.
So I think that's good. I feel a lot better about stuff because they have depth at a lot of positions. That's one position I was really concerned about. And he was their best player last year as far as linebackers go. And he plays well in Schwartz's defense, so I liked it.
Do you remember when Jordan Hicks hurt himself on his honeymoon? This happened like at the early end of last year or
like
the year
at the
before.
Swimming pool.
Yes, I think he was getting out of the swimming pool, fucked up his hand, had to he was in Greece or something.
Yeah.
It was in the off season. He had to send a video to the team doctors to determine how fucked up his hand got.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just on his honeymoon, fucking around the swimming pool.
Wow.
The dude is fragile.
If that's the real story.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You're right.
Who knows what
Maybe
is this
he got
or that,
fucked up
but
and fell down some steps.
it's just injury prone. No matter what he's doing.
To the point, in some way he's cutting open his hand drastically on his honeymoon means he's probably kind of injury prone, yes.
And that's a sad thing. In the Chip Kelly era where very few draft picks panned out, he was one that quote-unquote panned out, but being available is certainly part of that discussion. So
you got to be on the field.
Right. So I love having him when he's healthy, but who knows if or when that's going to happen. And, for the majority of the year that Kendricks and Bradham kind of rode the linebackers last year and were good enough.
Do you think they might try to? I guess they've been trying to trade Kendricks forever.
There's
right?
been a talk for that, but
Forever,
But
but
for me, like
now, why?
Is a first or is a 5th round draft pick that's around the compensation I'm hearing? Is a 5th round draft pick worth getting rid of Kendricks? He played pretty well. Like he's not horrible. Like I don't know. I think he got a lot of shit, and he pid pretty well last year. So
I think we need him now.
At $5.8 million. I mean,
I'm not ready to just start Corey Nelson.
No, and certainly with Hicks's injury history, he could be out again. So you need that depth. You need a couple people there, and now they have 4 people. So right. I feel a little bit better about things. So
I'm with you.
Overall, the linebackers are in pretty good shape. So that's a good thing.
Then we got the big old Haloti Ngata.
That's right. They signed from the Lions.
I like Ngata. I like the signing because essentially you're getting him to replace Bo Allen. And if you take
Bo Allen, who went to the Bucs, who didn't,
yeah.
Oh, to match up with Vinny.
Yeah. And Bo Allen, I think he got like $16 million over 3 years. Or
3 years,
like.
$16.5 million is what Tampa gave him.
Yeah, I don't know that Bo Allen's worth $5.5 million a year. So I bring in Haloti for less. And Haloti got injured, but Haloti with the Lions, they had a great rush defense when he was there. When he was gone, the rush defense fell apart.
Yeah.
So
this is what good teams like the Patriots do every year. They get mad deals on vets that are looking to win.
And those mad deals on vets last year that Howie pulled off certainly helped with
like Chris Long
and Blunt.
Yep.
And LeGarrette.
Yeah.
That's damn right.
So Ngata, I think, is an upgrade. In all honesty, if he could stay healthy, I think he can really, like, if you have a run heavy team and you play Haloti a little bit more. He's a great clogger. He doesn't have to be the guy. He's like the 3rd guy in the rotation. So he's only going to be playing 20, 25 snaps a game.
25 snaps.
Yeah, that's fine. And that'll help us out a great deal. It'll stop the run.
A nice change of pace from Jernigan to Haloti.
It'll plug the middle. So if you're looking for a pass rusher, you can either move like Brandon Graham inside or use Jernigan. If you're looking to stop the run, you put Haloti in there opposite Cox, and you're in pretty good shape. So, another solid move, a 1-year move to kind of try to make another run.
Run.
Yep.
And then one of the final moves during the whole free agent there was they signed Mike Wallace, our own Mike Wallace. Very excited to have another namesake.
We're a pro Mike Wallace podcast.
We are
Absolutely.
a pro Mike Wallace podcast. Friend of the podcast.
Dynasty owner Mike Wallace over there.
But Mike Wallace is not a doppelganger of Mike Wallace.
They don't look the same.
No, not very similar.
Same mama, different daddy.
Slightly faster and better looking. That is true.
Well, didn't you, when you went to Eagles training camp, did you ever run the 40, or was it just the kid in front of you that ran the 40?
Oh, no, I did not. I was concerned with hurting myself, so I let the other guys run at the draft. And then the one dude tore his ass.
Well, Mike Wallace is
strained a glute or whatever you want to call it.
The wide receiver Mike Wallace is 31, by the way, and still running that 40.
Holy crap!
So
that's it. Mike Wallace feels like he's 35.
So the nice
31.
So you essentially took
got another deep threat.
He's probably better than Torrey and cheaper.
I think his hands are better than Torrey.
I would count him as the equivalent at this point. Whatever, but. Torrey was $5 million, and I think did they say what Mike Wallace's deal? I have to think it's less than $5 million for 1 year.
Oh, I think it was less than 3.
Yeah, I think they saved some money, and he does the same thing that Torrey did. And Torrey played well in the playoffs, but Torrey was oven mitts during the season. You never knew when he was going to be able to pinch those gloves together and like catch a ball,
like pure brick hands.
Yeah. Oh, hey now. So I think Wallace, that was a smart move. So you gained Darryl Worley by the Torrey Smith trade, so you got another Rasul Douglas, Jalen Mills trade.
Mike Wallace ain't useless. Only 31, and that's 0.
I think he'll do what Torrey Smith did. Probably similar numbers, maybe a little bit better. But
I wonder if I'm going to get me a Mike Wallace jersey now.
He just signed a 1-year contract. It's not saying how much.
Oh, okay. So it's probably not that much.
2.5. 2.5.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. Yeah. So not a whole lot of money.
So they saved $2.5 million by getting rid of Torrey Smith and bringing Mike Wallace.
And they got Darryl Worley for free.
Yeah.
Minus whatever he costs.
Well, but where's Worley going to play exactly? I mean, there are questions.
He's competition for Douglas.
We have we've got a glut. So a position that was like bad for us is now all of a sudden filled with not great players, but all kind of similar talent.
But players.
Yeah. Douglas, Mills, and now Worley are similar kind of players. Darby's our only speed kind of guy, but you got some depth at corner. You still have a big question at slot corner. What are you going to do? There's talk of moving Jalen Mills in there. which Mike and I just about
Come
had a heart
on
attack
now.
over thinking about. Yeah.
We know better. They know better. We know they know better.
The quick, shifty receivers are going to give Jalen Mills all kinds of trouble out of the slot. I know he's played it before.
Gotta be a Brandon Boykin style. Just find someone in the draft.
Yeah, you're hoping they have 2 4th-round picks at the end of the 4th round, but hopefully there they can still secure that. That's where you still are able to get slot corners because everybody wants the guys on the outside.
Right.
You're still able to.
They're hampered
in the 4th, 5th rounds. You're able to secure the kind of slot.
They
The
slide
size
down
guys,
because they have no
5'8",
upside.
5'8", 195 guys that
Yeah.
that are
And you can still play Mills or Douglas against your Jordan Matthews types.
or Larry Fitz, or if
when
you've
you got
got
Cole Beasley.
if you've got a when you have a quick shifty slot, you're going to have a different guy.
Absolutely.
When you have a bigger slot like Jordan Matthews or Fitzgerald,
Right.
you can probably put a Mills on there and be okay with it. I mean, Fitz is going to toast him no matter what, but
No, he will.
yeah, matchup wise, at least you have size versus size. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, they're
I just don't want to see like Douglas on an Edelman type.
yeah. Well, if you're thinking about the other part of the backfield, though, like D-backs, like safety. So Jalen Watkins probably gone. Corey Graham probably gone.
Another position with zero depth?
No, yeah, no depth. And I'm okay with McLeod, but I'm not in love with him. He's got a big cap number. His cap hits $8.4 million this year. I don't feel like you're getting $8.4 million in results for what he's giving back. He's okay. Sometimes he whiffs on tackles and comes up a little bit short, wrapping people up.
Yeah.
I'm not in love with him, but he's okay.
He's made some business decisions and some key times that I haven't been a big fan of myself.
Yeah, so he's okay, but then outside of that, you really have no depth at safety now. So I guess maybe that's something you can look in the 4th or 5th round and try to get a developmental.
You need
player
a young guy.
Yeah, because Watkins was a 4th round guy, and they were hoping he developed, but he just was never good enough at corner or safety to warrant re-signing.
Right. Neither.
So they're a little short there.
We're looking at like a slot corner.
And here are the free agents they've lost now. They've lost Burton. He was 4 years, 32 to Chicago. Are you worried? So I mean, that's no more
That should
touchdown
be a
passes
good comp
from that
pick.
guy.
Yeah, and we were never.
That's right. No more touchdown passes.
We were
Right.
never going to sign him to that contract. So good for
No.
him going out and getting the deal. He had to do what's best for his career and his
Right.
life, and
Sure.
more power to him. And
He certainly did right by the Eagles, man.
yeah.
Shit, yeah.
So we're
We got
hoping
Billy
that
Brown now.
hopefully Billy Brown could develop into something, and maybe they bring back Selleck on a late edition.
Right.
If
If he wants to come back for $2
Yeah,
million,
'cause they
he's
have
probably
cut,
welcome
they
to
have
do
cut
so.
Brent Selleck. Well, since we're talking about cuts right quick, but though he reportedly visited the Detroit Lions, but I don't think they're picking him up. And then they cut Vinny Curry because they couldn't come to an agreement with him. He went to Tampa Bay for 3 years, $27 million.
Yeah, which something we were talking about before the podcast. It leaves them long term thin at the end. Not this year.
Yeah.
This year they're okay. Well, as long as something we're going to talk about later doesn't develop into suspension / other problems. But
Jail time.
technically, right now, according to who's on the roster, we're okay at the end. But however, looking forward in the future, so kind of take two things. We look at next year, and then we look at the future. So next year, I think we look good.
Right.
We got
so
Chris Long back. We got Brandon Graham back.
We also we also lost so far. Was Patrick Robinson's going 4 year, $20 million to New Orleans. So
who we don't have the perfect replacement for yet.
yeah. So that's Bo Allen, like we talked about, went to Tampa Bay. Because no one's paying him 3 years, $16.5 million.
No.
Then Caleb Sturgis, Caleb's gone, but I think we got Jake from State Farm in there, so I'm not too worried about losing Caleb.
Yeah. He's
So-
a folk hero.
Happy trails, Caleb. 2 years, $4.4 million. That's what he's going to get from the Los Angeles Superchargers. And then old man Blunt's gone. He took a 1 year, $2 million with the Detroit Lions.
Well, I mean that does leave us
Well, thank God we have Pumphrey, right?
a little thin at running back. Well, I feel bad. I'm going to try not to bash Pumphrey without the staunch Pumphrey defender Sean Cottrell being on today. So we've made it
Quick
clear.
feet, Brad.
We've made it clear over the course of time that
You can't bust on him without his backup.
He has records, Brad.
the majority of us on this podcast are not. Well, I don't even see. I want to see him succeed. I just don't think he's going to. But that leaves them with JJ
He won't.
Corey Clement and Pumphrey at running back.
I mean, Corey's had some good flashes, but he's
No,
not that.
Corey. I think Corey's a great two. I'm concerned about the third. There's
Right.
always injury at running back, and if you're getting nicked up, do you want Pumphrey having 10 carries a game?
Right.
Oh,
what about
what
Sproles?
Wendell Smallwood?
And Sproles is still technically. I mean, he's a
Is
free
he
agent.
still under contract?
He's
looks
a
like
free
he is.
agent.
Sproles is a free agent.
Smallwood.
Smallwood is.
Oh. And then,
Smallwood's under contract, so I guess Smallwood's going to be the 3 and Pumphrey's going to
so do
be
you
the
think
4.
that? So here's the rest of free agents that they haven't. That I guess these still have decisions to make about. Darren Sproles, Corey Graham, Najee Good. I know you want him back, Brad. I know you love yourself some Najee.
Well,
Good.
we can get him at any time of the year because no one else ever picks him up. So you want to pick
Has
him up?
he ever played for another team?
If you want to pick him up in November, I think he went to the Browns for some. I don't know if it was training camp or I don't know if he actually. I think the Browns like our refuse.
They do.
They took Bryce Tregg.
Did you hear
They
that,
took Najee
Josh?
Good.
You know they do.
Well, not anymore. They're really the Browns. This is a separate topic, and we're going to bring number one Browns fan Josh Weaver in for the post draft podcast because the Browns have picks 1 and 4, and that was entertaining when we brought him in last year.
That's right.
So
And
we're going to bring him
he
back.
I
can
just want to
explain-
hear that Cleveland song.
And he
again.
can try to explain to us why they made a horrible decision once again at quarterback. So
when they take Josh Allen one, and we just laugh constantly.
But the thing is, he's drinking the Kool-Aid, and they wouldn't have played a game at that point. So he's going to be all in no matter who it is. So he's going to love it.
Can't wait.
He's going to love it. He's going to love it.
Look
Yeah.
forward to that, B&B Nation.
So
Yeah.
if Najee Good is not a Brown by then, we might be able to get him. Then would Brian
he was a
Browman-
Buccaneer at one point.
A Buccaneer.
Najee Good
Okay.
was, yeah.
Okay.
Then Kenjon Barner, he's probably not coming back.
Nah.
I don't know. Well, he might solve your running back there problem there, Brad. I wasn't super impressed by Kenyon, and I wanted to be, but I just wasn't.
Well, he's more of a returner.
Yeah.
He was solid. He didn't fumble. He was
didn't.
able to return kicks and punts.
But he didn't bust out a whole lot of big runs. Like once in a while, he make a good catch and run, but that was it.
They brought him out of like Whole Foods to come like work out,
That's
and it
true.
looked like he had extra 30 pounds of weight. So he was spending all season trying to work off that baby fat.
Yes.
But he did okay for what the role they wanted to bring him in. Barner was all right. So hopefully they can do better. But I still think Barner has more value than Pumphrey does because I think Pumphrey has zero value. But
Zero. But how many-
0.0.
Well, does
Mr. Blutarski.
Does Kenyon Barner have the Mountain Division's like #1 record for whatever and that stuff?
Oh, no, but don't
mountain
worry about it.
divisions.
The guy that followed up Pumphrey just broke all of Pumphrey's single-year record, so it's all good.
I can't wait till Rashad Penny goes in the second
right,
round.
right, yeah. Rashad Penny is, yeah.
I understand also has quick feet.
Well, this quick feet guy is actually 5'11", 220, has NFL size. So he may be as quick as Pumphrey, but he can at least plow through a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks to be a much better pro prospect than Pumphrey was. But, I mean,
So what about Jalen Watkins? He's also free agent. I think they're keeping Jalen.
He's a bum.
He's a bum.
he's a depth guy. He's a guy to
Okay.
have on your roster.
He's not
'cause
a bum, but
I mean,
I don't like him even as a number 3 safety, if that tells you everything you need to know.
but if you're going to get him at a veteran minimum, I mean, I'd rather have him than a rookie.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sticking a 5th-round rookie in there if
Because he knows the scheme and has been there and knows what's
if,
up.
if McLeod gets hurt, I don't want a 5th-round rookie in there. At least somebody
know.
knows the scheme, a veteran knows where to
know
be.
that
Yeah.
Jalen Watkins will never be above a C-, whereas a rookie could be
Not if he's a
better.
5th round.
A
rookie.
5th-rounder could be
I
a
mean,
B
they might
or
be
it
an
could be a
F.
D or an F.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
We
think
should know
I
what
would
you're
roll
getting.
the dice.
But
Yeah,
you're
you
gonna-
wouldn't put Sudfeld in, man.
I'm a dice roller.
You're like, fuck that Nick Foles.
If you failed once, I'm done with you.
But you need both. You're going to need a rookie and you're going to need a veteran. You need four. You need forward safety
right.
for rotation or just depth.
For special teams alone.
Right, right. So you well, and you can't count some of their guys they have in there. Don't they? Who was the one? Maragos came in at safety a couple years ago.
Yeah.
In regular playing time, and he was. Now you see why he's on special teams.
Yes,
he's
only.
very good at special teams. He's
Only.
not very good when the game's playing, trying to be a safety. He's too slow. So they need somebody that. I feel like Watkins can just be a veteran that's just there, but better than. You need a draft pick and a
Fine,
veteran.
Watkins and a vet.
It doesn't have to be Watkins. You can pick up a vet from somebody else when
They
they
did
make
that
their
with Corey
cuts.
Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Watkins has been there. That's the benefit of Watkins. He's
knows
familiar.
the defense,
right?
He's not going to make a play, and he's going to be sucking that salary away.
Every time he's on the field, Brad will be cursing.
I love how
what?
like
Him and good? What?
Yeah. Oh, we're done.
Here's the touchdown. Here's the touchdown.
What was the play in the playoffs where Najee Good happened to be on the field and it was the Vikings.
Oh, he got
when they
burned.
scored that early touchdown.
Yes,
he stumbled when was it Eifert? They threw a touchdown to Eifert early. They got the touchdown.
Kyle
early
Rudolph.
In the game. Rudolph.
Yeah.
It's like we saw it happening right before it did.
I was just like,
oh no, they just motioned him.
And
there goes Najee Good.
Brad's
We're toast.
exact words when that play was starting up. What is Najee Good doing on the field?
Giving up a touchdown.
And it was just like instantly. It's like, he's behind him.
Right there. Just smoked him.
That was
Just
one of 3 bad plays the entire game because we just blew the shit out of Minnesota. The rest of the game was perfect, but that play, I felt bad things coming. And
that was the game. That was the play that introduced me to the fact that I needed a throwing phone.
Yes.
That play, I threw my phone, and I'm like, okay, I need a throwing phone now. That was it. Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 more on the list. They're a little lower down. Danielle Ellerby. He's a free agent.
He was a late pickup, just depth, because we didn't have any depth at linebacker.
Just a coach. Coach. Just a couch guy.
Strained his hamstring. Was okay early in his career with the Ravens, but at the back end injuries and age.
That's right.
Have made him not a very good player. So we have depth other ways.
And then offensive tackle Will Betty.
So he was probably going to retire before we picked him up midway through the season for depth.
I forgot the Eagles had Will Beatty.
So he's
Beatty,
probably
something like that.
Beatty.
He's Italian.
Beatty.
He's Italian, but he spells it like an Irishman.
So I don't think he's coming back. I think that was just a depth. After Peters went down, it was a depth thing at tackle. They didn't have, not sure if behind Vitae, we don't have anyone that really can slide outside and be a tackle. So it's kind of depth move.
Were they reworking Peters' contract? I heard some rumblings about that. Anybody else hear that they're trying to
I did not.
I think they were at the time. They just want. They got 2 people to restructure, so I think they're good now.
Yeah.
I think they were just looking to free up enough room to make the tweaks they wanted to make with the roster and try to win one more. So
there you go.
I think that's where we're at now.
Sweet. And then we'll just to finish, we'll get into the 2 restructure guys Brad was talking about. Lane Johnson restructured his to free up $7.5 million in cap space.
Yeah,
but I mean the whole thing is I think you were saying earlier, they just pushed it to next year. It's just it's like a balloon payment next year.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what's happening with that.
Yeah,
and then Zach Ertz pretty much did the same thing. He saved him $5.4 million in cap space, but again, they're going to have to push. They're going to pay that piper in 2019.
Yeah, we're going to have interesting offseason talks next year because there are going to be a lot of moves that have to be made next year.
And they also this is Chris Long just re-signed, but they restructured him. But I think they gave him more money.
They did, and they should have.
Yeah, he earned it.
I mean, I think he only had 5.5 sacks, something like that. But he made so many big plays,
he did.
strip sacks. I remember distinctly at least 3 strip sacks that were game-changing plays. And he's worth it.
I think
$3 million for a DN 1 year, whatever.
And such a locker room guy, man. He's such a
20,
good dude.
30 snaps a game. That's actually important because he does well.
Yeah. No, that's good move by them. So they have depth at D-line, depth at linebacker, depth at cornerback. Maybe you can make one of those slow cornerbacks into safety. Maybe transition a Worley or Mills to
I've heard of some talk about Mills.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem physical enough to even be a free safety, but...
Well, I mean, with how soft McLeod plays, he probably can give you that.
Well, then, and our final bit of roster movement has been Donnie Jones, the punter, has retired, so we're going to need to get another punter.
And that's kind of, I think it's slightly underrated. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but a veteran punter that can angle punt and get the hang time you need.
Right, you
might not with a free agent or a rookie, you might not be able to get what you got from him. And their special teams were pretty good. And
for some reason, I feel like I remember Donnie actually battling with some young dude last year in camp.
He was. They like to bring in a young kind of rookie kind of guy or young guy to just battle and see if he can win. So maybe they're going to bring him back. I forget what that guy's name was, but
I do think Donnie complimented him once or twice, though. Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the roster moves we have up to date now. And then we have another thing that's happened lately is the Michael Bennett situation just blew up, 2 days ago? Friday, I think. Yeah, right? Where apparently he's getting accused in Houston from, what was it? Not last year's Super Bowl, not the
51,
Eagles.
yeah.
51, where he ran on the field and apparently pushed down a 66-year-old paraplegic guard or something on the field to get onto the field. And then, but there's like video that his sister took that doesn't show him doing that, but maybe doesn't show the whole thing. And it's just weird that it took 17 months to bring it there, and it's based on the one. There's no video of it. Because the police chief, in a very bizarre move, had a very large press conference about it down there, and he talked to and said some shit like he was a morally corrupt and morally bankrupt individual, which he's not been proven guilty of anything. It's kind of strong words.
And how much does that guy know about Michael Bennett? This
Correct.
one isolated incident where he's taking, everybody's word and making a judgment.
Well, the thing
he
is,
doesn't know Michael Bennett.
He's taking the judgment of it all comes from the statements of this one police officer who said that like Bennett pushed through and said, do you know who I am? I could buy you guys. I'm going on the fucking field or something like that. Some like which honestly doesn't even like doesn't sound like a rude version of Michael Bennett. I feel he would have had a little more. I don't know. That might not have been exactly how he would have said something as obnoxious as that. You know what I mean? Like, hey there, white guy, I am this, but I don't know. Anyways, but also they're saying there's no video of this, even though it was during a Super Bowl celebration. That somehow there's no video of this situation, and it's all based on this one cop's testimony, which apparently they decided not to bring charges about until 3 days ago. Because the Eagles didn't know about this, and apparently neither did Seattle, because no charges had been filed. Like, it's weird. This is a weird situation.
I guarantee Bennett's lawyer is going to leverage this, and this will not even go to court.
It's going
to be settled outside.
It sounds kind of bullshitish to me too. So, like,
I guess, but we don't know enough about either side. Like,
no,
like
it's weird that it happening. The timing.
The timing is bizarre.
We talked to it a bit about it on Friday night, and we're just kind of like, I was like, I can kind of see a professional athlete who's been entitled his whole life, feeling that it's his right to be on the field,
right?
And he'll do whatever he do to kind of bull through there. But is it exactly the way it was portrayed by the police officer? Who knows?
Right. He was like some sort of weird Texas sheriff who might have a chip on his shoulder about his activism, and decided 17 months later he's going to fuck with this dude because he can.
So I think the gray area. I mean, life's a bunch of gray areas.
Right.
It's never
there's
one
a bunch
side
of
or
questions.
Agreed.
But I mean, there's more questions than there normally are in these. I mean, I guess they usually, but this one's weird to me. And also, it's like it's all from this cop, right? And he saw him assault this lady, apparently, right? But the cop did nothing at the time. This officer was like, all right, fine. And he said in the thing that I read, he just said after Bennett said all that obnoxious stuff to him, the officer just walked away. And I'm like, if he just saw him assault this lady and Bennett's like talking shit to him, like he could have just clapped him then. Or they could have clapped him the day after.
No, it's good. The cop's a Seattle fan. So when he got traded from Seattle, he finally implemented it and came out of it.
Yeah, maybe. He's finally like, you betrayed us, Michael. Legion of Boom forever. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's weird. So I don't know how to take it yet.
So I think it's probably somewhere between the cop story and what Michael Bennett's sister videotaped.
Like I don't see Michael Bennett punching some paraplegic old lady who, again, I have a question of why is a 66-year-old paraplegic woman a guard? That's a bizarre job for her to have. Like I don't know.
Equal opportunity employer, my friend.
But if you're looking for security, man, it's like, what you going to do? She's not stopping too many people.
No, most people are like,
most people are like, they don't know.
They're not going to knock over a lady in a wheelchair.
You don't have to. You can walk around her, dude. That's my point. Like, you can just get away from her.
You are.
Hey, you come back here. You're like, nah, I don't think so. See ya.
Maybe that's what
she's a walkie-talkie.
She's gonna send her child to have a walkie. You know what? Don't put her on.
She got a taser.
I got to say though, during the Super Bowl where people are rushing in, maybe not put her on the gate. I'm just saying. Maybe not put.
Maybe she wanted to be on the gate.
I don't know. I'd also. She demanded it.
I feel like
I'm going in the action, Jim. I don't care.
I feel like
but you're a 66-year-old paraplegic woman.
You can't handle the truth.
This is my job,
You
Jack.
stand on that wall.
This is my job, Jack. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Did you order the gate duty?
I'm taking my wheelchair and I'm going to stop him from getting in, Jack. You can't stop me.
You're damn right I did.
I live and breathe this shit, Jack.
No, Michael Bennett saw the lady was a fraud as she got up out of her wheelchair to stop him, and she pushed her over. He pushed her over.
Oh, I see.
I've seen some spinals,
Or
and I bet she wasn't
I
it.
wonder if it's just some mousetrap shit where someone said, "Excuse me, you can't go in there," and he brushed him off, and that person spun around, hit somebody, who then fell into this
like
woman.
the bowling pin effect,
right? And then hit this woman in the wheelchair and spilled her over, and then the cop running to go talk to Michael Bennett stepped on her head, and then he goes, "Look, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have assaulted her by stepping on her head. This is all your fault."
Or no, the cop sees Michael Bennett on the field and the lady in the wheelchair, and he makes up his own story of what happened from A to Z.
Yeah, because
I heard mousetrap, and then you went through it, and I'm like, yep, that was a mousetrap situation.
A mousetrap situation, man. That's a Ruth Goldberg right there, man. You should see it just fall down.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And then at the end of the thing, paraplegic against your old lady guard falls out of a wheelchair. It's some rough business.
Oh, yeah, you're really looking out for her 13 months later, finally pressing charges.
17.
Yeah, way to go for a copper.
Yeah.
Oh, no, if it was Super Bowl, only would have been 1
was
month
it 13?
plus 12.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, who knows?
So there are questions. And,
I don't know.
But here's the
and we hope she's all right, whoever she was.
Bennett's
whatever
got
happened to
some
her,
issues.
We hope she's fine.
Well, here's the other.
He's no choir boy.
The
and I'm
other
not gonna
part of it,
defend him
the NFL has now become the secondary police, the employer police.
Right.
So are they going to, based on the outcome of this, are they going to suspend him for a number of games? Because then you're a little bit thinner. Then you have to play Stephen Means maybe a little bit more than you wanted to.
Maybe.
But
Apparently he's 28, by the way. Yeah, we didn't know that either.
Peak.
Yeah.
And
Maybe this is the year he should be getting 30 snaps.
He gets a sack or two a year. I feel like he gets in only a small amount of time, and he makes a couple plays. Probably not meant to play 40, 50 plays a game, but come in 10, 15 plays.
Kids, here's a tip for you. Just grow dreads. You instantly look more athletic when you have dreads just floating around back there.
Because they whip behind your head when
Yes.
you run, man. It's
you
majestic.
just look fast and athletic.
Yeah, Bo Derek proved that point back in the day.
The Brashad Perriman with the skullet looked faster
today,
than
believe it or not.
Brashad Perriman had the balding head and the dreadlocks behind the skullet.
That's a bold move.
Oh, like the
You know
Asante
who
Samuel
else
late
rocks
in his
you know
career.
Who rocks Ross though? The Predator. So hey,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Brett Perriman was the Predator.
that's really, or maybe he said that's
Rashad's
the look
dad.
I'm going for. I'm going for.
You know who the original Predator was? A little factorials for you guys.
Who was it?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No,
Yes. Van
put
Damme
dreads
was
on
the
him?
Predator.
I thought the Predator looks so big though.
In the
Van
Predator
Damme was-
suit. That was Van Damme.
Really, because Van Damme's not that big a guy, is he?
He must have been at the time. It was
Van Damme was
I don't know.
Kind of.
But I mean, he's like
What's that
wiry.
kickboxing
He's
movie?
light. That's what I mean.
kickboxer.
Oh, Bloodsport. Bloodsport.
and Bloodsport. They're both of them.
Oh, that's what.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a
to
classic.
save face a little bit. I'm thinking Bloodsport, not kickboxer.
Kickboxer guy.
Sure.
But he looked kind of like built in the midsection anyway, arms and upper body. He
Yeah.
looked kind of thick.
Yeah.
I thought.
I think. See, I never thought. I
The
thought
Predator
maybe it was
had some thighs. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I thought that Predator's a little too jacked for that, but okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that was during his roid stage. I don't know.
Might have been. Probably was.
What's up, Jean Claude?
Anyway, we're not fighting in a Kumatai anytime soon.
Love your new stuff on Amazon, buddy. It's
Yeah,
real
what's
good.
his new show?
Oh, it's like Van Claude Van something. It's great. It's fantastic. I watched the initial show.
Wasn't it like if
Jean Claude
What?
Van Damme was a secret agent playing Jean Claude Van Damme. Like it's really meta. It's
yeah.
pretty cool.
Ooh, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, so he's Jean Claude Van Damme doing
The
Is this a
movie
work of
star.
fiction?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, maybe he is a real star. It's a documentary. and they're
Maybe it's a triple entendre.
They're pulling out an egg. But he plays Jean Claude Van Damme, but also is a secret agent on top of it.
Ooh.
Secret Agent Man?
So
Man.
yeah.
Now we got the cult thing and the Van Damme thing. I got to
right.
add more things to my list
Gotta
by
have
the
more things
hour.
for you to watch, man. So
Yeah.
Well, so I think we're in pretty good shape. So
yeah, I think we're one of the best teams loaded for the next 2 years.
So let's go backward to forward through the roster. Start with offense, quarterback.
I just want to, because I pulled up a draft needs. I'm getting a rudimentary, this is what I think the Birds need going into the draft. I'm making a list.
Nice.
Are you
we
checking
can
it
go
twice?
through it.
Well, all right.
I'm checking it twice right now, actually.
We'll
What do you got? What you
start at quarterback. Well, obviously, with Nick Foles not being traded, that bodes well
Yeah.
for depth at quarterback. You have a quarterback that was Super Bowl MVP and won you a Super Bowl, and that's your backup.
That's right.
And he might have to start the first few games. It depends how Carson does getting back. Although I've heard he's doing well, but you never know. It's a big injury.
It is.
And they like Sudfeld.
They do like Sudfeld.
Not as much as Mike, but they like him.
For my just well-being, I really hope Sudfeld does something good in the league.
Well, I think moving forward, I don't think
You mean
you're
like win a Super Bowl MVP? Because that might not be possible for him now, Mike.
It's possible for them both to be good. But yeah, you're right. That's not going to happen.
No, but
I will take the L on that. I'll just take the L.
No, it shouldn't be an L. Because
No, you don't know what he's going to be. He's still a young guy.
And I think they're grooming him to be the two moving forward.
My argument is that Foles wouldn't get it done, and I was wrong.
Foles has 1 year.
Yeah, you were completely wrong on that.
Yeah.
Foles has 1 year left, so
Yes.
they're going to need somebody moving forward, and it's probably a low-cost person they want to bring in that knows the system, and that seems to be Sudfeld. So that's probably going to be their new number 2 moving forward.
I think you're right.
And that's good with Carson's contract coming up in a couple of years. They're going to need to know.
Yeah.
Because they're going
Low-price
to need to back up the Brinks truck to pay Carson, considering what these quarterbacks getting paid now, man.
Shit. He will at the time get the highest paid quarterback contract.
If he keeps acting like he has been, man, he's going to have to. He's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was watching some highlights the other day just for fun to remember how good Carson was, and you're like,
man.
oh yeah, he's amazing.
Isn't it crazy how stiff your dick gets anytime you watch those highlights?
It was like a tale of two cities. It was like the best of times. It was the worst of times. Then it became the best of times again. So Charles Darnay and what is Tale of Two Cities?
Oh yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So which one dies
Paris
on the,
and London? And,
which one dies on the guillotine at the end, though?
Oh well, yet to be determined. We're still in the middle of this novel, so
You got classic literature. You got Van Damme history.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, so quarterback, we're pretty good. We're liking that.
We're good on QB.
The
We're
running
good.
backs, okay, we talked about a little bit. Ajayi, the 1. Clement, the 2.
Blunt's gone.
Blunt is
Ajayi's
gone.
got one more year.
So Smallwood, Pumphrey fighting it for the 3.
And we still don't know what's going on with
They're
Sproles. But do you
bums.
think Sproles coming back or no?
I don't know.
What are you going to pay him?
Coming off that injury at that age,
Selleck time.
I think he's
30,
30
$2
he's
million
30
contract, maybe.
yeah, if he comes back for the right price, he's better than our third string running back. So
Yeah.
I'd cut Smallwood and Pumphrey and bring Sproles back if it's possible.
So basically you have a Jai, then you got
Clement as a 2.
Clement as a 2. So that'll work. That's pretty decent. That's decent.
As a 2, but you want to have 3 because injuries can always happen at running
And
back.
then
you want
rotating is
depth
good for him, man.
Yeah, it keeps
him-
the legs
yeah.
fresh and
Keeps from getting killed too.
I kind of would
Keeps
like
the
a
damage
young
down.
running back in a class that's loaded. Where
Yeah.
like some guy in the 4th or 5th might be some guy drafted in the 3rd in another year.
Yeah, I mean, where'd they
Yeah.
get Corey? Corey, they got him low, right?
Undrafted.
because
Undrafted, yeah.
last year was also a good running back
Barely
year.
made the bubble, too.
He,
Like,
he
they were sure they
probably
were gonna sign
in
him.
regular years would have been a 5th, 6th round pick. And
Right.
They got him for free agent.
The NFL will be experiencing a running back renaissance like already.
Yeah.
And very soon
They are.
coming on. Yeah.
I
They are.
don't. Do you think you'll ever see the return of the bell cow though? You think because now it just seems to be like squads of running backs, at least 2
Like
now.
Gurley's a bell cow.
And Kareem Hunt's
David
a bell
Johnson
cow.
a bell cow.
Kareem Hunt is a bell cow.
Yep. And like the running back tag number, franchise tags like $9 million because none of them are currently paid yet.
Right.
But like Kareem Hunt will get paid, and David Johnson will get money.
Well, if they
Todd
last.
Gurley will get money.
Le'Veon
Le'Veon
Bell
will
might
get-
get franchised again at like $16 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I guess
running
Le'Veon's
backs.
a bell cow too, though, isn't he? Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a beast.
Zeke.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. They're still a good
even McCoy, it is around 30, but he's still a bell cow there. Right? They don't have
Yeah.
a good
That's
backup,
true.
and they're around. So I think that whole demise of the running back was overstated. It's not true. And if you're a Todd Gurley, I mean, if you take Todd Gurley out of that offense, I'm not sure how well Goff would have done without a Gurley in the backfield because that was the big threat you're worried about.
Well,
Who
same
doesn't
thing,
want a Gurley in your back?
Same thing with Dak. I mean, you took out the Ewok dude; he couldn't do shit. Yeah. I mean, when the Ewok was gone, Dak looked bad.
Ewok?
Yeah. Did you say Ewok?
Did
I
say
think-
Ewok.
Which
Ewok? I called him the
which
Ewok.
Which
Oh,
Ewok?
Gurley's the Ewok?
No,
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott's Ewok.
He's definitely an Ewok.
He
That's
looks like an
completely
Ewok.
fair.
Y'all look
Yeah.
at me like he doesn't look like
No,
an Ewok.
no, he
does.
absolutely does.
He looks like an Ewok.
What was the name
Trying
of
to
that
think of the
main
name of
Ewok?
that one Ewok.
Wicket.
Yes.
Ezekiel
That's him.
Elliott
That's
will
Zeke.
fondly be. Did you make up that nickname, or you heard him called Ewok?
I
There's a
thought he looked
meme.
like an Ewok.
Yeah.
Is there a meme? Maybe I did see the meme.
I've never heard him referred to like that, but I like it. Let's do it.
He definitely
Let's keep
looks
it
like
up.
an Ewok to me.
Yeah.
Ewok, I like it.
So-
All right, so we'll move on to tight ends. Obviously, Brent Selleck at $5 million a year was not. You couldn't
No.
keep him at $5 million a year, so they had to let him go.
We got
Burton signs the big contract elsewhere. They bring back a practice
Ertz
squad guy,
restructured.
Billy Brown, to maybe fill the role of Burton. But you're going to have to get a veteran, I think, as a blocker. And that may be I don't know who that is. Are there any good tight ends left? I know you guys hated on Martellus Bennett.
Yes, I'm still hating on Martellus
He decided he's
Bennett.
not coming back, though. I just read he's done with football. He's retired.
Oh, is he?
That's
He's
what I
done?
just read. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That happened just a day or two after his brother's stuff came out.
Yeah.
He said, "Fuck
And
that."
I said that, bring him back before his brother stuff came out, and I was like, oh, do you want to add two elements, a brother set like that to the chemistry? But they're going to have to look for a blocker. I think the most likely scenario is Brent comes back for $2 to $3 million 1-year contract.
I think
and
so.
is the blocking back. So you can always get a blocking tight end in the 4th or 5th round, but we have a lot of needs for
We
the
might
4th or 5th
try
round.
and practice squad one of them.
Yeah.
Like just an undrafted or hope for a 7th rounder that you like. Practice squad for a year, see what happens.
Yeah, so they do need to have a veteran presence there. Just Billy Brown and Ertz are not going to probably be enough.
Oh, Billy Brown is your number 2. Less than ideal. We'll just go with that.
And then you go to O-line. We talked about this a little bit before the podcast too. Deep at starters. So you have solid starters, solid to plus starters at every position. So you're looking to protect Carson Wentz and develop, run pass option, the running game. You want to have all that stuff happen. I mean, across the board, you go Peters to Wisniewski to Kelsey to Brooks to Lane Johnson. That's a pretty good offensive line. That's a top 5.
I agree.
Top 5 offensive line. That's amongst the best. You have Vaitai, who stepped in as a swing tackle.
That's not
just
bad.
in case Lane or Peters and his. He's had injuries over the course of the years, and
he's getting up there.
yeah. So you have somebody that can step in there. I'm not really in love with the backups at guard.
I'm not tossing Sam Allo aside yet.
Yeah, he can still develop. We'll see what happens. But you can also see Warmack get in there. I wasn't overly impressed when Warmack came in last year. But, yeah, they're great at the starter level. Wisniewski can slide into center if Kelsey gets hurt, and then you just have to bring in, one of the guards to back up for Wisniewski.
Right.
So that adds a little bit more depth to have somebody that can play multiple positions at a high level. Wiz is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think he's the most underrated guy on the offensive line. So they're pretty good there. So the offense looks pretty good. And then you swing over to D-line, where we talked about concerns in the long term. Short term should be good. Yeah.
Short term look like murderers, man.
Yeah, the DNs look great with Graham Bennett, Barnett, and Long. And Stephen Means as your 5th. And then D-tackle, you bring in Haloti Ngata to replace Bo Allen. And then you have Jernigan, Cox, Bo Allen there. And you could slide some of the DNs situationally into D-tackle on passing
I would like
downs.
a developmental DN or D-tackle, one of them.
Well, it depends if you think somebody like an Elijah Qualls or a Destiny Veao is going to be a legitimate
That's true.
player. They may have hopes for them to keep developing. And
Possible.
it was Qualls' first year last year.
So
He
maybe
didn't
not
get
a
in the field
D-tackle,
much.
but a D-end.
They're okay there. Yeah, D-end for the long term. Yeah, they've got a lot of old heads in there now, minus Barnett.
Graham
so-
could walk. Long's old.
Yeah.
Bennett's old.
Yeah, that could
Long's
be.
probably not coming back. I mean, he barely came back.
Means
this
is
year.
old. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Long's
think
coming back to give.
I
try
think
to
a
get that
DN's a
back-to-back
legit
that he's
priority.
done.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we're okay for now, but we do need to think about the future and get some kind of D-line depths there somehow. And we only have, 6 picks this year? I think we have...
I did pull that up.
A first, 2 fourths, a 5th, and a 6th, and a 7th.
Yeah,
Let's see.
like that looks kind of barren and weak.
Yeah, it's not
6
I only got
picks.
him.
6 picks, nothing in the 2nd or 3rd.
I bet they trade out of that one.
They could and pick up a 2 and a 3. It's possible. So linebacker, we like the addition of Corey Nelson. Adds some nice depth there. Right now, they kept Kendricks, which I think is good overall.
That's a good dude to cover your Kamara Styles out of the backfield.
I mean, he's never going to be what some people thought Kendricks could be, but I think he's pretty good. Obviously, Hicks is an injury question.
Yeah.
And Bradham re-signing is pretty good, I think. He did very well in Schwartz's defense. So, linebacker.
Like a depth body would be nice.
Yeah. A new developmental player that can step in on special teams and kind of work his way into the lineup over the course of time.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Definitely.
Cornerbacks, we've got a ton of
slot guy.
We've got a ton of clones at cornerback. We've got the Worley, the Mills, and the Douglas kind of people that are your taller, slower cornerbacks, along with Darby, who's your speed guy. No apparent slot at this time. They talked about moving Jalen Mills in there. I'm concerned about that. Maybe after all these cuts are made, they bring somebody in that's specifically a slot corner. But the quicker slot corners, we don't have somebody to kind of match up well against that kind of person.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, Cole Beasley just killed us because we had nobody that could really come in and guard him. And
legit, yeah.
So
I think they might. A job for training camp might be to just see, can Jalen Mills or Russell Douglas be a safety?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because we have depth at corner, need a slot corner, but we have depth there. Safety, we have no depth.
Right.
We got the two starters, Jenkins.
Just be the new Jalen Watkins, but maybe better?
McLeod. Yeah, I mean.
Preferably better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least give you as much as he did.
That's a definite possibility. I would be surprised if they get reps.
So, yeah, they have a good two starters, but their depth at safety is okay. No, actually not okay. It's not good.
Subpar.
Yeah, it's they're going to have to make some adjustments, and I think the way they're juggling it, I think they'll have to move a safety there, or move a corner to safety.
Okay. Yeah.
Too many corners to make the roster now. And why did you make the trade for Worley if you're not going to try to integrate him somewhere?
Right.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. You're right. One of them probably has to switch.
And that would help with the depth there. But yeah, they need a draft pick, whatever draft pick that may be, some developmental guy as safety as well.
Yeah.
And then special teams, obviously, you've got the kicker. So
Jake is good. Jake Elliott's solid. We like Jake Elliott.
Punter retiring, so you need a free agent rookie to come in and compete.
I did figure out the dude that competed with Donnie Jones last year was Cameron Johnston.
Okay.
Former Aussie, actually.
Oh, was he
Grew
like
up
an
in
Australia?
Australia. Yeah, he played in the Australian Football League for a
Interesting.
year or two, then went to Ohio State as like an older college kid, punted for the Buckeyes, and then ended up in Eagles training camp last year. And the Eagles actually just re-signed him to a futures contract in January.
Yep. Okay. So
they at least kind of like him or know he's a buy.
if that's going to be one of the guys competing for the job.
Yeah.
So
That's
he'll
right.
be there. If he plays well enough, he'll probably be the guy. If not, we'll bring somebody else to compete. And if somebody else plays better,
Boom.
he'll be the
See
guy.
ya.
So we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
I think overall, if you're looking at just next year, we've got the depth to try to make another run. We're going to be, I would think, barring injuries, I think we look like a playoff team.
I would say ready to repeat.
Yeah, it looks
Well,
good.
I mean,
Lock it in.
I mean, it depends. Hopefully this
Carson will get hurt and Nate Sudfeld will win it.
and Bennett. Hopefully this Bennett thing turns out to not be madness. And
well,
I'm not looking for distractions. I agree.
I still fear the Aaron Rodgers presence, and he was not there in last year's playoffs. But I don't want to play him in the playoffs.
But
You're talking about the best quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah,
according to Mike and nobody else who
Tom
voted,
Brady. But yeah, no,
Debate for another podcast.
that's right.
right. And hopefully the season pans out where it's looking like those teams are going to be matched up at some point. But that's a worry for the future. They still need to get through an entire season and make the playoffs
Right.
and all that good stuff. And the Cowboys,
Carson needs to progress well and all that.
the Cowboys will play better when Zeke's there. And, they're going to be. I don't think the Giants are going to be anything to really worry about.
The Redskins don't look.
The Redskins
Looks like they're about ready to
kinda-
double down on failure and not pick a quarterback.
Yeah, foolish.
Oh, that's the one thing
Yeah.
I don't want them to get a quarterback.
No.
I mean, I kind of don't want them to get Saquon, but then I want them to move forward with Saquon.
hope they
with
trade
nobody,
out.
with Davis Webb as their future quarterback.
Yeah, that'd be good. So
Yep.
So
the
that's
things
that.
to look forward to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll draft a couple players, and some players with potential the late first round pick, if we don't trade out, should be a player that contributes somehow. Maybe not a starter, but it looks like we have plenty of needs for depth, and that person could be somebody that contributes moving forward. The 4th, 5th, and 6th round draft picks and 7th round draft pick, just crapshoot, dartboard,
Just darts,
blind dart.
So if hopefully,
if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Howie should let a fan make a pick, like Bill Walsh did a while back. That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe. Only if it's you, Mike.
Perfect, because I want to show up with some names.
That's right.
Next pod, and
Mike will come out with a clipboard.
Get
and be
some
ready.
prospects.
It's too soon to start projecting like records and stuff like that. Too much can happen between now and then. But it would seem to be in line with a competitive team next year. So we're going to be good.
Going to be good, man.
That's right.
We'll get more on it next time. We'll give you some more on the next podcast, the next Beers and Birds podcast. If you want to get down with us, we're at Beers and Birds Pod on the Untapped app. If you want to check out our other podcast, the Beer Sessions, that's what it's saying.
Same feed.
Same feed.
Like you're looking at it.
Just double the awesome podcast.
Just download and then delete. We don't care.
Get down on the Beer Session, too.
But listen to it. It's fun.
So if you like the beer, that's where you go. If you like the bird, you stick on this one. If you like them both, you're a good person, and we love you. So, but we're also Beers and Birds. That's our Twitter handle, right? Just at Beers and Birds.
Yeah.
So if you want to get us on there, you can do that. Till the next podcast or until we see you on the Beer Session, take care, good night, and we love you.
Woo!
Woohoo! Beers and Birds is a Lounge Legends production. With free beer tomorrow and a $5 charge for whining.
McMahon singing NFL's troubles, which included a second consecutive year of decline in ratings.
Let's get into this market now.
Yeah, it's going down. Buy low, get me in there. Coach, put me in the game.
It just needs a little classless excitement. Yeah.
And Johnny Quench runs a 4.940 here and has 62 carries for 87 yards.
It's the beauty of the game.
Now, going with Kansas City's team, their star player, Donnell Pumphrey, has 87 carries for 92 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Add 2 catches in there, Brad. 2 catches for a total of 6 yards. 6 important yards.
That Pump is a key candidate for the.
And there we go.
Startup draft pick one. Donnell Pumphrey, San Diego State University.